Hi Gemini, welcome to your reading for the month of November. This message is for Gemini Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you like the videos that I share, please click the like and subscribe down below. And I always recommend also checking out your other videos for your other placements, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Gemini, we have to talk about the nodal transits, all right? Because this is super significant for you more than the other signs, although I think other signs are feeling this. And that shift that's taking place that is connected to nodal energy showed up in your reading in a really awesome way. And your reading feels very different than all the readings I've done so far, all right? So you have the North Node in your sign at 1 degree at the time that I'm doing this reading. You have the South Node in your house of partnership in Sagittarius also at 1 degree. Now they will retrograde towards the end of this year into Taurus and Scorpio, and that will be a different conversation for every sign, especially you. And with this at 1 degree, I'm gonna go with the warning first. If you were not diving more into your Gemini-like energy, if you were not being curious, if you were not allowing your curiosity to take you down certain rabbit holes or explore new places, new things that you've been interested in, especially like new bodies of work, or what am I trying to say, like anything related to higher learning, like studying more. If there's like a certain area of focus you've been interested in, maybe it complements your work, maybe it doesn't. Whatever the case is, you have been given very supportive energy at this time for diving deep into more of who you actually are as a Gemini. So being curious, being connected to your creativity, writing, communicating, and depending on how much you've given into that, starting in April of 2020 when this transit started, you could feel like now that we're approaching the very end of this transit, like there's this pressure cooker type thing going on where you need to now become more curious. You need to now say the thing or communicate. If you haven't been writing your feelings, maybe all of a sudden you're starting to like dive deep. Scorpio season is a beautiful time to do that. And this entire transit since April of 2020, you've been encouraged or supported by this to dive more into who you authentically are, to become more of like that curious, creative Gemini, right? Who communicates, who has messages to give, and to release old belief systems that do not serve you. Now we could go down a rabbit hole with this transit as well and throw in your 8th house activity, which led to you being a completely different person than you were even 2 years ago, because Saturn in Capricorn was near forcing you to become more of who you really are and to leave something or multiple things, likely multiple things, in the past. And with Pluto in Capricorn, it's not quite over. You're probably going to be very different 2 years from now as well. So that transformational energy has been bigger for Gemini. It's been there for a couple other signs pretty loudly too, but for you it's been the biggest because it's been in your 8th house. Those aren't the easiest transits, but I feel like you're coming into an entirely new sense of awareness and connection with your own authenticity. And that has helped you jump leaps and bounds beyond where you used to be and what you used to tolerate. So let's get into your reading. You've got in your energy the 3 of Cups. It feels very playful. It feels very fun. That feels very Gemini-like too. I do sense that with all that transformational energy, we've moved into a space where there's more weight given to the investment of your energy, of your time. However, for the month of November, you might be tapping into more of those things that just give you joy. Let's say you love being out in nature. Maybe you're doing more hikes, you're taking some like exploratory trails, you're having fun. Maybe you love fine dining, you're going out and doing the tasting menus. Like this is what this energy is. I wanted a clarifier for this and I got it on the bottom of the deck. It was the Empress. Doesn't surprise me one bit. You are enjoying the abundance of the earth, but I've sensed that you're doing it in these like really beautiful, simple ways. Like it could turn out like flowers at home, or yeah, just like life's simple pleasures that you're somehow weaving into your everyday life. I think you're doing a lot of that in the month of November, and I think it's a really good idea. In your environment, you got the Sun and the Eight of Pentacles. I love it, and this feels kind of similar to the Six of Wands, that you are being, light is being shined onto you and your accomplishments at this time. It's almost like there's this spotlight on your work. You might not even be aware of how much this is happening, of how much this sun energy is like radiating through whatever you're creating or working on, whatever your field is. That's really supportive at this time. So let's get into your 9-card spread. You showed up a number of times. You showed up right out of the gate as the Magician. I love to see it. Representing Mercury, so this card is both Gemini and Virgo, but the Magician as an archetype is always aware that there are multiple tools at your disposal. And I sense with this card that looking at the past and all the transformation that you've gone through, it's your awareness of your connection to different types of resources, right? But also this awareness of karmic law, this, pointing up as above, so below, pointing down, that you've almost had to. I don't know if you had that much of a choice in the past, but to recognize your ability to take agency to get more of the life that actually brings you fulfillment, so that you can actually eliminate the situations that aren't in alignment with what makes you happy. I think you've become very, very aware of this energy in your life, particularly this year. And your next card out is the Six of Cups. So childlike. And, Gemini and Leo, the children of the zodiac. This suggests you're connecting more with who you authentically are, like what I was talking about with the nodal transits. Really beautiful. And the next card out is your card, the Lovers. So this just really shows me more about your energy. That's what this feels like. It doesn't really involve other people, this first row. And it shows me what you've been through, because in order to arrive at this place where you're standing in a Magician energy, you are aware of the healing of the past. That's done. Like, I feel like the healing, there's no Hermit card here, there's no Star card here. Like, there's something about connecting with your inner child in the past that might have brought you more into this space of balancing and harmonizing your own energy. That is so beautiful. We'll get into love with that Lovers card too towards the end. But your next card out, and this is your past, is the Five of Swords. Almost immediately after it, the Queen of Swords came up in the middle of your reading with her back to the Five of Swords. They aren't even, like, if this were a battle, right, they wouldn't even be in the same field. Like, these people would be on a field arguing amongst themselves, sabotaging their own work and their own, what they have going on, right? It's actually, like, that's sad. But you would be somewhere on a hill that literally doesn't even face whatever's happening on this field. So this further suggests everything, the Magician card specifically, but also the Lovers, that you just don't have time anymore. Like, you don't have time for pettiness, or like the word squabbles comes to mind. Like, you don't have time for the things that used to leave you feeling really bound and stuck and maybe really low about yourself and not standing in your power. Whatever this was, I sense this is years ago, because it's likely connected to that Saturn transit through your transformation house. Because whatever you used to tolerate, like, it's actually like a kind of sad message on that card. And you are defending this position as the Queen of Swords also. I don't sense you're gonna have to do that much to defend it. I think just continuing to, like, sit on your throne like she's doing. The willingness to speak when needed, because the sword is in the upright. And the sword here, to me, represents also the Ace of Swords, that willingness to speak if it's needed. But otherwise, she's not really getting off the throne. There can be stuff going on around her. The wind might be like it's blowing the trees in the bottom of this card. There might be like stuff going on kind of in the periphery, but she's really not bothered by it. She's also protected. She's also aware of her spiritual connection in that card. And maybe that in itself is some natural form of protection, right? It's like if you're so focused on this, which the North Node has already been doing, it's a focus for you, Gemini, on yourself and your body, first house things, especially Gemini ascendants. So if you're so focused on that, what time would you naturally have for this? And maybe that's its own form of protection. It's like it's blocked out. Anything that you used to give energy to in the past that was never aligned with your happiness. I don't think you knew that though. I think I think there was such a disconnect from the Queen of Swords energy, maybe a disconnect from the Magician energy in you, that maybe in your past this used to fly. And whatever this is, by the way, because I was drawn to the 5 like as soon as it came out, whatever this is, there's something changing. Not that I think you're even focused on it. There's something changing for these people in your past, all right? And I'll just leave that right there. No need to like clarify that. Underneath that though, you got the Devil in the reverse. It's the only card that came out in the reverse. It's a very loud and clear message, especially when I look at it like this. Magician on top, right? That's you. 5 of Swords, something about people in your past. That should resonate. I think that's going to resonate for most people. I don't think most people watching this are dealing with whatever this 5 of Swords energy is intentionally, right? And then the Devil in the reverse. This probably used to leave you feeling bound and stuck. Almost like you felt like you had to be out here for some reason with that 5 of Swords. And now the suggestion is that there are literally like chains in that those chains are now broken with that card in the reverse. Someone's like lost their power or control over you. And in doing so, that was somehow tied into their own stability, which is the 5 on this card connected to the change in circumstances for this group or this individual, however that shows up for you. The Judgment underneath you, this whole process could have led to an awakening. Judgment is my card of spiritual awakening. It also is connected to outside forces, the divine at play. And even though it's not the Justice card, it is connected to divine laws like timing, karma, just in general. And it's right underneath. You've got the 6 of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Judgment. It's like all this was bound to happen. However, whatever storyline played out for you, it's like it was bound to happen this way. But I think in the end, it left you feeling more like this Queen of Swords. This whole situation too, I'm being drawn to the 6 of Cups and the Judgment together. This could be like a past life situation too. Take that how it resonates, if it resonates for you. Something connected to past life karma. Last card out is the Strength card. I love it. This is about the point where I realized that this was connected to this Lovers card. You could either already have a Leo in your life, or there could be something around a love interest who has strong Leo placements or Leo-like energy. Yeah, and then with the 6 of Cups, and I was bringing up earlier about that, like the children of the zodiac thing. There's something here. This might be opening the door for a new type of love, one that's very heart-centric. The heart, like the actual heart is connected with Leo. So something where you feel like someone gets you on that level, where you can be vulnerable, where you can be emotionally, you're both emotionally available, something like that. This blocking out this old stuff, oh wow, because right in between it, yeah, is the 7 of Wands. So blocking out this old stuff, this has to do with the past. That's what's opening this door. That's fascinating. This situation too, with the Strength next to the Judgment card, could also be, as a side message, this whole dynamic or these years of you feeling as though you had to partake in whatever this was when you didn't, this could have helped you level up into your own inner strength. You taming the lion within you, but also becoming aware of that lion, right? Because it isn't always about taming the lion, right? It's sometimes about understanding that energy within us that needs to be set free, knowing when to block things intentionally, knowing when to say the thing or just to stay on the throne and not, right? That's all connected to that strength energy. And bottom of the deck, the Three of Pentacles, this feels very connected to this lover's strength energy here too. And it could be tied in somehow to your work. Maybe you work with this person for someone. I'm just going to throw that out there. Eight of Pentacles. Yes, that's all that I have. Gemini, have a beautiful month. I'm wishing you a beautiful November. Take care.